Period. What happened? Nothing.
A mother of 8 was shot and killed last week in North Charleston.
Put a post up the night before she went out on Snap, and it said, "Time is short." You know, I think we all should take a lot more pictures and stuff and memories and stuff because
Police in North Charleston have arrested 39-year-old Maya Simmons Birch and charged her with manslaughter in connection to a shooting last month. According to a police report, officers responded to Dorchester Road on July 28th around 2 in the morning for that shooting. Once they got there, they found the victim who'd been shot in the parking lot. She was taken to the hospital where she later 30-year-old Maya Jennifer Simmons from Ladson is her name. Police say Birch turned herself in this morning.
This is the story of Maya Jennifer Simmons, a mother of 8, investor, business owner, sister, daughter, and friend, who was shot outside of a bar in North Charleston, South Carolina, by her fiancé's ex-girlfriend. According to Maya's family, her fiancé had just proposed to her a few weeks before her execution. Much is still unknown about what happened that night, but according to police reports, Maya had been involved in an altercation with her fiancé's ex-girlfriend, which led to the shooting. A week after the incident, the assailant turned herself in, claiming that she committed the crime in self-defense after Maya confronted her. The case is still ongoing. However, the police are still finding out new information about the case to this day. The tragic story takes place in the city of North Charleston, South Carolina, on the evening of July 28th, 2023. Maya Jennifer Simmons was at the Bloom Room, a trendy restaurant and bar located at 6877 Dorchester Road, with her fiancé and other friends. She had been proposed to a few weeks before that night and was excited to soon become a bride. However, things would soon take a very dark turn. At some point during the night, 30-year-old Maya Jennifer ran into 39-year-old Maya Simmons Birch, who police would later find out was Maya's fiancé's ex-girlfriend. Allegedly, Maya's fiancé had not completely let go of his past and was still seeing Maya from time to time, going behind his fiancé's back and cheating on her. The two women engaged in an argument, and after going back and forth for a while, they went outside to the parking lot at around 2 a.m. The events that transpired after this are still unclear, as police are still investigating the crime. But Maya claims that just as she was about to get into her car, Maya charged at her and tried to tackle her. Maya then took out her handgun and shot Maya Jennifer several times before fleeing the scene and leaving her fighting for her life on the ground.
Tessa, Birch's attorney says she and Simmons got in a fight outside of the Bloom Room. Now, he said Birch was about to leave in her car when Simmons charged at her. That's when Birch shot Simmons. Birch is charged with manslaughter and possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime, and today a judge gave her a surety bond.
Officers from the North Charleston Police Department soon responded to a report of the shooting, and after arriving at the scene, they found several helpful passerbys performing CPR on Maya Jennifer, or MJ as she was known to friends and family. The paramedics soon took over and continued to perform life-saving measures on Maya. Seeing that she was unresponsive, she was immediately taken to the hospital, where she unfortunately passed away. News of the passing of the young entrepreneur completely shattered Maya's family, friends, and community, who described her as one of the most hardworking people they had ever met, a loving mother, and a great sister and daughter. The news was especially difficult to process for MJ's grandmother, whom Maya was named after and had been extremely close with all her life. The two had shared countless beautiful memories, and her grandmother could not believe that she was gone. She mentioned that as soon as she received a call from the police on Friday morning, the day after the homicide, she knew that something was wrong and was devastated to hear the news. In the days and weeks following the senseless homicide, hundreds of friends, family members, and acquaintances of Maya posted pictures, stories, and videos of their experiences with MJ, honoring her and remembering her as the strong, independent young mother that she was. It had been less than a month since her entire family got together in North Charleston to celebrate MJ's 30th birthday, and for many of her family members, that was the last time they would ever see their dear Maya alive again. Just a few days after the birthday festivities, Maya's fiancé proposed to her, and she had posted a video of herself wearing her engagement ring to social media, excited at the prospect of spending the rest of her life with her soon-to-be husband. Before meeting her fiancé, Maya had become a mother to 8 children with other men and had fought hard to provide for them as an entrepreneur. When her fiancé came into the picture, he treated her like a queen and promised her the life of her dreams. Everything seemed to look up for the hardworking and previously single mother until that fateful night in July. In an ominous moment of foreshadowing, the night before she was assassinated, she posted a story to Snapchat in which she said, "This is me. Life is so short. Make memories with people while they're here. I don't care if you're chilling in the house, take pictures, record videos. When it's all over, that's all you're gonna have." The day after the murder, one of MJ's closest friends uploaded a TikTok video in which she described the events that led up to the homicide. It's important to mention that this version of the events had not been confirmed, but it could be useful to police during the investigation. According to Maya Jennifer's friend, Maya Simmons had been very vicious to her when they ran into each other at the Bloom Room, allegedly rubbing it in her face that she had been with her man and that he was also going to belong to her.
A mother of 8 was shot and killed last week in North Charleston. Our Conley Grayson joins us now. And Conley, you talked with Maya Simmons' grandmother today, and she really misses her, doesn't she?
She taught her children how precious God is, how that when you die, you go to heaven and God will take care of you. When she walked in the room, it lit up. Because you know what? There's MJ. Maya loved the Lord. Her faith was so strong that whatever's going to happen now, it's going to be all right.
North Charleston Police Department says this is still an active investigation, and so far no arrests have been made. Working for you, Conley Grayson, News 4.
After the incident, many of Maya's friends and family members got together to host different fundraisers, the proceeds of which went to her 8 children, who will now be living with their grandmother, and to help pay for MJ's funeral expenses. Although police had the testimony of eyewitnesses and several leads that pointed them in Maya Simmons' direction, it wouldn't be until 2 weeks later, on August 11th, that she would turn herself in. Even though the specifics of the incident were still unknown, police immediately charged her with manslaughter and possession of a fatal weapon during the commission of a vicious felony. She was later booked in the Al Cannon Detention Center. While she was being held in jail, Kaisha's family said she was not sleeping or eating, and they asked the judge to set bond so she could return to her 3 children at home and get her affairs in order before being convicted. Both the family and the assailant's lawyer told the judge she was not a danger to the public or a flight risk, and that she has no priors and owns her own business. On the other hand, Simmons' family asked the judge to issue no bond and no contact, claiming that Birch was showing no remorse after the crime. During her bond hearing, a judge placed Birch under house arrest with a $200,000 surety bond, prohibiting her from using social media or contacting anyone in Maya Jennifer Simmons' family. In reference to the crime she committed on the night of July 28th, Simmons claimed self-defense, alleging that MJ confronted her and that she had no other choice but to defend herself. She did have a concealed carry permit, but some of the details of her self-defense claim simply didn't add up.
Tessa, Birch's attorney says she and Simmons got in a fight outside of the Bloom Room. Now, he said Birch was about to leave in her car when Simmons charged at her. That's when Birch shot and killed Simmons. Birch is charged with manslaughter and possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime, and today a judge gave her a surety bond.
First of all, if Maya had confronted Kaisha, One bullet would have been more than enough to prevent MJ from hurting her. However, the police report clearly states that Maya passed away from multiple gunshot wounds. Also, if the crime was committed in self-defense, Kaisha had no reason to flee, and she could have called the police herself instead of disappearing from the scene and refusing to come forward for 2 weeks, and that obviously made her seem more suspicious. Finally, as if all weren't enough, MJ was never known by any of her close friends or family members to be a vicious person. When interviewed about the possibility of the crime having been committed in self-defense, MJ's grandmother had this to say: "Maya Jennifer couldn't take your life with her hands." Jennifer Ferguson, a grandparent of Jennifer, said, "She didn't have a gun. It's not self-defense. It's not stand your ground. We don't even have that law in South Carolina. We're not in Florida. You made a bad decision, and it's going to cause some bad consequences."
Maya Jennifer couldn't kill you with her hands. She didn't have a gun. It's not self-defense. It's not stand your ground. We don't even have that law here in South Carolina. That's in Florida. We're not in Florida. You made a bad decision, and it's going to cost you some bad consequences.
Despite the many contradicting opinions in the case, the only decision that will matter in the end will be the judges. Hopefully, the punishment will accurately reflect the severity of the crime, and the assailant will be brought to justice. Perhaps the most tragic aspect of this incident is the fact that both of the people involved were strong, independent Black female entrepreneurs who had done everything to provide for their families as single mothers for a long time. Considering that Black Americans are statistically the least likely group to own property, the fact that Maya was able to buy her own house and invest in other properties should serve as an inspiration to the entire Black community. Over the years, she had also founded multiple businesses, one of which was a 360-degree photo booth for parties and events, and the other was the Treat Fairy, Treats by Maya, which was her personal cake, cookies, and assorted treats business. On the side, she also sold fake eyelashes, and all three of her businesses were reportedly quite successful. Both of these women had already been through so much adversity to get where they were, and it's heartbreaking to know that one of these women met a tragic end during a dispute over something as meaningless as a cheating man. Hopefully, the incident will be a wake-up call for the South Carolina leaders to implement more strict gun charges and preventative measures, avoiding tragedies like this from happening in the future. North Charleston City Councilman Jerome Hayward has already announced that following the incident, police presence has been increased in the area.
And I just think we need to have real conversations surrounding the gun violence. War is not the answer. And I'm hoping in the next couple of days we can get together as a community, bring some of the leaders to the table, and start having a real conversation about what's really going on in the community.
Rest in peace, Maya Jennifer Simmons.